Hello. Okay, there we go. Hello. I thought that I would share one of these from inside of our house, inside what we call the standing room. The standing room is nicknamed that because when we first got together, husband and I had absolutely nothing. An international move, a marriage, lots of upheaval, lots and lots of drama, lots of tears, lots of new beginnings. Lots of new beginnings. So there was a lot of fear during that time. There's a lot of uncertainty, lots of unknowns. And they have all proven since then, that was 2008 when that began, to have been just right. Even though they were very scary and painful at the time, that pain gave birth to such an amazing life. At the time, you could have told me that and I would have thought you were crazy. But I can look back now with much more clear hindsight and see that those colossal upheaval, drama, pain sources were necessary. So that was really what I was going to talk about today, just for a moment. The reason we call it the standing room is because our sitting room was so small, we had nothing really to put in it, and we couldn't fit it in. So it was then the standing room. So now the standing room has grown, and there's lots to sit on, but it's still the standing room. So I'm popping on to talk about change and the fear that I see in my Facebook feeds. I try to stay away from the media as much as I can, even though media was my job, broadcasting. But there's a lot of fear coming in, especially being a British British family. I have both citizenships, but I kind of feel like I don't know, somewhere over the Atlantis. I don't really belong there anymore. And I don't really belong here, kind of, but not really. But anyway, immigration and all that stuff that seems to be just causing so much upheaval and fear and separation. And it seems to be interesting that those who look for union are feeling in opposition to those that they live together that might have voted a separate way. So there's a lot of fear. And I also earn some, not much, American dollar income and some British sterling, not much. But I can see, the upheaval of this new decision. And it is an unknown. And it is painful. But from pain comes growth. Always chaos and pain is necessary for growth. So if we want things to stay the way they've always been, which has been painful. I mean, this is a painful place to be. Earth can be. Change needs to take place. Change is an absolute guarantee. From the moment that we get here till the moment we are no longer in this physical body, change will always take place. And I used to be one of those ones like this. Oh my God! I used to freak out like about the predictions of Nostradamus, and I was like, no, can't. And that caused me so much grief. Oh, that caused me so much grief. But when I started to go ahead and say, sometimes stuff happens that is okay with me. Sometimes stuff happens that's not okay with me. Stuff is still happening. So I have two choices. I can either be obstinate and afraid and give into that fear and run around with my hair on fire, naked up and down the street. Scary. Or I can go ahead and go, well, it is what it is. And we're going to go ahead and see what happens, because no one knows what's going to happen. And how often, even in those scary times during that move, how often did the very worst possible outcome take place? We talk about this a lot. And people have told you this all the time throughout the millennia. Rarely, if ever, does the worst possible outcome take place. So why do we go to that worst possible outcome and be in that mindset of fear and division and, oh my God, we don't know yet. All we have is right now. It's right now. Let's see. Looks all right. There's no chaos right now. It's just a matter of change. And from the moment we are born, death and change are absolutes. And that's the truth. We act like neither one of them can take place. But they do, often. And sometimes they're big. And sometimes it feels like a natural, thing. And sometimes there's acceptance. And sometimes there's, refusal, to participate. All suffering comes from wanting things to be different than the way that they are at the present moment. That's the truth. So I'm not taking any ownership over these teachings either. Beware of those people who do. When they say that it came from them, it's not so true. It's for everybody. And when you get a chance to apply them to your life, then therefore they become your experience. So experience those. Don't worry about the outcome when it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. For right now, it's okay. Got food in your belly, roof over your head, and everybody will be all right. Change is a good thing. Embrace that change. And for God's sake, if it's about unifying and coexisting, that includes people who voted a different way than you. Those people you need to coexist with too. And doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but you can still coexist with them. So that's just my thought from the standing room today. I love you. Thank you for all of your participation, and I will see you again. And I appreciate you, and I love you, and I'll see you soon.